Good morning, everybody. It's Coach Carrie. We have had dance time, and we have done workouts and story time. And this morning, I was going to give you a little bit of a history lesson. I am actually sitting in my backyard. I'm going to show it to you. It's a little part of it. I'm lucky. Hold on. I almost fell down. Actually, I did. Woo. Yep, I am sitting in Ward's Creek in Yahuwah Valley in Dahlonega, Georgia. And most of you know that we are famous for having the very first gold rush in the United States. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the gold here in Dahlonega. When I was in 8th grade, I had a teacher. Her name was Miss Davis, and I loved that class. It was Georgia Studies. And my favorite part was learning about the gold in Lumpkin County in Dahlonega. You're gonna find in history, sometimes you'll read a book, then you'll get on the internet and you'll see that there's a different story. That's kind of the neat thing about history, is that sometimes we don't really know what happened. People are just kind of filling in the blanks, and that's okay. So this is one of the stories about how gold was found. In 1828, that's kind of a long time ago, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not like super long time ago. But this man named Benjamin Parks, and he's a nice man, I'm sure. The story that I had heard was that he was hunting on a man named Reverend Obar's land. And he either tripped and fell or he kicked a rock, depending on if you want to think that he was clumsy or he was kicking a rock. And when he looked at the rock or pulled it out of his boot, he looked at it and he was like, you know what? I think that's gold. Yep, I sure do. And a couple people thought he was crazy, but he was like, no, I really do think this is gold. Now, one story says that everybody thought he was nuts and said, well, you know what, dude, why don't you buy the mineral rights from this land? Which meant that he wouldn't own the land, but that he would be able to own, if there was gold on it, he could have it. It was his. So they're like, ha ha, laugh all the way to the bank, Benjamin Parks, you know. And it actually was real gold. Now, I need to tell you that Dahlonega, Georgia is very special. Not just because of the people in it, but because we have the purest natural gold in the universe, in the world. Yes. There is no gold that really even comes close to the naturally occurring purity that we have here in our gold. The reason for that we have the purity that we do, has a lot to do, mostly to do with the Appalachian Mountains. It is the oldest mountains in the United States, in North America. So not only do we have the purest gold here and really cool people and really cool rivers and backyards, we also have the oldest mountain chain. Now, gold has a friend. It likes another rock called quartz. And it's like peanut butter and chocolate. You thought I was going to say jelly, but peanut butter likes chocolate better than it does jelly. Anyway, so gold and quartz, they're kind of good friends. And after a while, they're always like hanging out. And after a while, with all the rain and everything, they kind of separate. Well, that's what was happening in the Appalachian Mountains here, was that after so much time, the gold was starting to separate, and that's why people were, make a long story short, starting to find it. And then when everybody started to find out, hey, the gold is here, Ben Parks really wasn't crazy. They had these little stamps where they would like hit these quartz trying to get the gold to come out of it, because the quartz is kind of fragile. So all kind of different ways. They had these big fancy water hoses where they were destroying the mountains even more, and then they had all kind of slash things, all different ways to get this gold. So you're like, what is the big deal about this yellow rock? I mean, there's all kind of rocks around here. There's rocks in Grandma and Grandpa's front yard. I can go get a rock right there. I don't have to go and like pay a whole lot of money for this rock. What's the big deal? It's rare. People always will spend money on things that they can't get. the rest of your life. That's lesson number 492.6. So, here in Dahlonega, yes, we do have the most naturally occurring, I don't know why that word's hard for me, it just is. Maybe if I do it with a different accent. So, pure gold would be a 24 karat gold, and the gold that is here in Dahlonega naturally is usually around 21 to 22% when we find it, and then they have to take it and they do something where they take out all of the impurities. But now, again, that was 1828 with Ben Parks, and some people are like, he didn't find it first, it was Maybelle Sanchez down the road. Again, somebody's always going to have a different story. And actually, if you think about it, the American Indians found it first because they were wearing it when white guys showed up. So, you know what, But yes, so that's our history here when it comes to the gold. Now, if you are home and there's a creek somewhere near you, you can probably go gold panning. You do not have to have a fancy gold pan. Nope, you can use a piece of Tupperware. I looked it up this morning. And please don't use anything really good that your mommy and daddy spent good money for. There's some expensive pans and pots and such at your house. But one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they go gold panning is they use their hands a lot. Remember, we're trying to avoid using our hands in this quarantine time. But gold, you know how it likes quartz? There's one thing that we can't get around gold or we'll lose it, and that is oil. Gold is very, very heavy. So when we're gonna be panning for gold, it's gonna sink to the very bottom of the pan. That's what we want. We want to find it. But if we have oils on our hand, it'll wrap around the gold and it'll go off flying down the river for somebody else to find. No. So whatever you do, don't like grab a bunch of mud and stuff and stick it in the pan, because the oil will get around it and somebody else will get it. And that's just not right. So, here we go. I'm gonna show you a pan. I've actually been sitting on it. This is an older pan. And some people, if you find one, please don't take it and spray paint it because you think it's ugly. This is kind of what you want your pan to look like. I had a friend and she's like, yeah, I found Granddaddy's, we spray painted it. And I was like, no. This is a good pan as long as it doesn't have holes in it. But everybody has their preference. It's okay. So, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I did order a stick finally, a selfie stick. But Amazon's not doing 2-day right now because everything's going on. So, I'm gonna figure this out. But if you're walking down the creek, what you can do is look for, gold kind of puts out this little signal. There'll be different colors of dirt on the outside of the creek bed. And sometimes it'll be black, or you'll see even like different greens and yellows. And that's kind of the gold saying, I'm down here, come get me. Turn me into somebody's wedding ring. So you'll see different colors of dirt. So that's what I was looking for. Hold on. And I've already been like sitting here. So anyway, I'm also making sure there's no snakes. Anyway, but if I was gonna be like gold panning, and I'm gonna do this, just to show you real quick. Oh great. Remember, I'm not gonna touch it. Whoops, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna do this, you just wait. I'm not gonna touch it with my hand. See how I did that? I just kind of scooped it up, and I'm gonna shake it first. There's a lot of shaking involved. A lot of shaking, a lot of stirring, a lot of going round and round, round and round. And the goal with this is to get the gold to go to the bottom. Remember how I said that the gold is very heavy? And it's a lot of fun. People just kind of sit around, tell stories, talk about, you know, did you see what she wore yesterday, that type of thing. Did you see what she posted? Yeah, all that good stuff. And you're just going to kind of dip it every once in a while. And it's okay if some stuff sloshes out. There are championships. We actually have some champions here in Dahlonega that have the very fastest time I know Georgia, at least. I'm not going to say the world because I didn't look that up and I don't want to give you inaccurate information. But about fastest times for gold panning. Of course, anytime you have any kind of activity, somebody wants to be the fastest. But they have all kind of, you know, competitions, championships, different things like that. Now, gold has some other friends, and there's another rock called garnet. And sometimes if you're looking for gold, you can also see some little rocks called garnet. Now, every time you go gold panning, listen to me, you are not going to always find gold in every single pan unless you go to a gold mining place, and then it is guaranteed in every pan. And yeah, we didn't find it in that time, but if we did, it would be like at the end like this, and we would just kind of go around and round. But you see how it has like the black, that black dirt? Anyway, this is a good pan. See how rusty that is? There's not going to be any oil in that pan. But yeah, that's my backyard. So this creek, again, this is Ward Creek, and some people say that gold was first found in Ward Creek, but again, this is history. And this goes into Yahoula Creek, which then goes into the reservoir, and then it goes into the world for all to use and all to see. But that is a little bit of history. But there was a time when you could kind of just walk around here and pick up gold nuggets. Now, talk about a little bit more rarity, as the word rare, is that, a gold nugget, to find a gold nugget naturally in Dahlonega now is more rare than it is to find a nugget in Alaska or like Saudi Arabia where they have other gold. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of back-breaking work, but there are still people. I was at the park kind of before all this happened about a month ago. There was a man down there and he'd found a couple pieces. So it's really neat if you can look up some videos and they'll show you how to do it for real. But yeah, here in Dahlonega, not every child in school has a chance to go out to their creek in their backyard or their front yard and go gold panning. If you are in the Lumpkin County school system, you are one of the only children in the world that can do that. So take advantage of that. Some of you may actually be a part of the park's bloodline. That's pretty cool too. Or a Calhoun, they had a lot to do with this as well. So there's a lot of history here. Your family probably knows a lot of it, or they worked with the gold mine. But yeah, that is Coach Carrie today. And that, yeah, pretty good lesson on some gold mining, gold panning. It's a good history. I think I'm gonna spend some quiet time down here. I'm gonna try to find some poison ivy. I know that seems odd, but I need to show you guys what that looks like so we don't pick that for mom and daddy. But I love you. Give yourself a hug and maybe find some gold. I love you. You are gold. Bye.